expensive to get set up for that.
Call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be a statement from our board vice president.
As we begin this meeting, let us pause for a 60-second moment of silence to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in any other silent activity. Time.
All right, thank you. Next item, we have a very distinct guest that's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Mr. Denton.
Thank you. If you all will stand. Salute. Pledge.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You too, Mr. Allen.
We're now even, okay? Next item is going to be the formal adoption of the agenda, but before we do so, we're going to need to move items 68 or make some corrections. Item 68 will need to be moved from consent, and it'll be addressed as the first item under business services. So item 68, and then also item 73, we'll just need to strike the words dates and times from approval of subcommittees or disapproval of subcommittees. So just strike dates and times, so those may be the changes.
I move a motion to move item 68 from consent to above item 79 under the regular agenda under business and finance, and then item number 73, strike dates and times.
I have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Okay. Next item number 5, we have the approval from the board meeting, the minutes of June 5th. Any discussion?
I move approval of the June 5th, 2017 regular board meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Abstain. Item number 6, motion to approve the minutes of June 8th. Discussion.
I'm waiting on 2 votes.
Mr.
Oh,
Allen,
I
Ms.
forgot.
Kelly.
You changed the buttons on me. I'm sorry. They're at the top now.
Ms. Kelly?
Oh, hang on.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Item
Keeps
6.
us all in shape here.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion? Item 6.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Abstain.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Abstain. Item 7, board meeting minutes from June 9th.
Move approval. Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Abstain.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes. Item number 8, under employment, Ms. Dias.
All right. Good evening, President Allen and Dr. Dunlap and members of the board. This is a good reason to be up here this evening. Tonight I bring to you discussion, motion, and vote on motion to approve or disapprove the offer of employment as the Aspen Creek Elementary Principal to Miss Bridget Powell. Miss Powell comes to us she has been serving as an assistant principal at Country Lane Intermediate. Before that, she served as a teacher at Highland Park and Park Lane. She's been in the district since 2008, has lots of district committees experience, and brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to the district.
Discussion.
Move approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes. Is Ms.
All
Powell
right.
here?
Yes, Ms. Powell, would you like to stand, introduce your family and guests?
First of all, I just want to say how honored I am to have been given this opportunity. I am really excited about my future at Aspen Creek and becoming a part of the wonderful family that is already there. I brought my family tonight. This is my husband, Larry Powell, my 2 children, Wyatt Powell and Rhett Powell, my mother, Susan Beach, my dad, Don Beach, my grandmother, Courtney Beach, my dear friend, Stacy Gable, and my dear friend, Todd Greathouse.
Great support group.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Powell, we're thrilled for you. And you know, I know, having known you for several years now, that you serve in about 742 committees, so we're going to expect that to be 743 now. Okay? But welcome aboard. We're thrilled.
All right, next item, item number 9.
All right, this is another great one. I'd like to present to you tonight the discussion, motion, and vote on motion to approve or disapprove the offer of employment to Miss Beth Schmidt as the principal at Highland Park Elementary. Ms. Schmidt has been in the district for a number of years as well. She has served as the assistant principal at Leisure Park and Spring Creek. She was a teacher at Oliver Middle School, and she has elementary background. She too has served on a number of committees, and I know the staff are excited to have her at Highland Park Elementary, and we have some of them here tonight as well. So,
Discussion.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
all right, Ms. Schmidt, I know you have a guest here too, so would you like to stand up and introduce yourself? And
Yes, I echo what Ms. Powell said. I'm really thrilled for the opportunity. Thank you so much. I'm just so looking forward to it. Broken Arrow has just been a wonderful district to get us started in over the past several years, and I just look forward to what the future holds for our district as well as for me being able to lead at Highland Park. And so thanks to everyone here. And this is my husband, Derek Schmidt, and I'm thrilled he's here, and my really good friend, Janet Dunn. And all my other friends who are here.
Yeah.
Mrs. Schmidt, welcome aboard. You know, I remember Mr. Perry and I going out and asking you, would you consider going out and being an assistant principal? And I thought you were going to turn us down. At first you were like, no, I don't think so. But we are thrilled. Highland Park is very, very fortunate to have you. So welcome aboard.
Congratulations. Next item, item number 10.
President Allen, Dr. Dunlop, members of the board, would like to make a recommendation tonight for our Performing Arts Center Director. Would like to recommend Kim Bento. She currently serves as the District Events Coordinator and Events Director for the PAC and does a wonderful job. We have 200 plus nights a year that something is going on at the PAC, and she handles a lot of logistical stuff and the behind the scenes, and has actually been with the district since 1995 as a aide in the special ed department. She's worked in the technology department and has also been a color guard instructor. So I'd like to recommend Kim Bento. We'll say she also does our Star Gala and runs our United Way campaign for the district. So we're fortunate to have her. She could not make it tonight, but I'd like to recommend her for the position.
Discussion.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes?
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, comments from the public. Seeing how there are none, we'll go to item number 12. Ms. Enif.
Good
You
evening.
guys are welcome to stay. It won't take long.
I'll try not to take this personally.
No offense, Natalie, okay? Just right when you got up here, they leave you. So,
Good evening, President Allen, Dr. Dunlop, members of the board. It's my pleasure to present the 2017-18 insurance renewal tonight. We have a couple guests with us with Aero Group, Jim Beavers and Terry Cupp. Really appreciate their partnership and collaboration as they have helped work through this process. Also, Kathy Metavelis has been instrumental in getting all this information to the board tonight for us to present. Really, everything is pretty standard as you look through the spreadsheet. One thing I would like to point out is the addition of the cyber liability policy. We have talked about doing this as a district for several years, and because it's been cost prohibitive, we've decided to opt out of it. Even though we are still in budget constraints, the price has become a little more friendly to us, and as we move more and more into technology-driven decisions, we feel as though this is the best thing to offer for the district. It's $7,500 for $1 million of coverage, and it really does do a lot to protect us as a district. So we are recommending adding that. I would like to also point out that our property insurance has continued to go down for the past 3 years, and this is really a testament to the operations division. Michelle Bergwall and her team do a phenomenal job of building quality structures, maintaining them well, and this makes it very attractive for insurance companies to want to insure us. So it's because of her team and what they do on a daily basis that we're able to lock in these rates.
I do have a question on the cyber insurance, and it may be directed to one of you, Jim, or anyway. My question is, what does that cover? Can you give because we're coming upon the age of cyber activity and security issues, and I just wondered what that might cover.
Sure, there are two primary areas of coverage that are provided by the policy. One is just what it says, and that is cyber liability. So if we have an action against the district for alleging negligence that allowed a breach of confidentiality or breach of the information that you have for years and years of students and employees over the years, so if there's a lawsuit brought for that. So that's one thing, and it would include the defense cost and a judgment if there is one against you. The second part of it is also the coverage for the expenses that the district might incur due to a data breach, and that might be notifying all the members, all the past students and past employees and current ones about the data breach. Certain things that are required under both federal and state law, and then other measures that you might take to have to monitor credit. If a judge tells you you have to do that, that's an expense that the district might incur. So those are the two primary areas that would be covered by the policy. And we've got great systems here, great firewalls, but they're after it all the time, and we have to be cautious about it.
Well, I was wondering, and Mr. Stout, maybe you can address this. Last year we had an issue with the slowdown on our system, whether or not that might take, in other words, would the insurance have come into effect on a matter such as that? where we purchased,
There were some damages.
yeah, for damages last year. Do you know?
I don't know the total cost for what we spent on denial of service attack, but it would have been something along those lines. If the costs were great enough, I'm sure
That would have-
policy would have kicked in to help us cover hardware costs, other types of recovery costs for our data.
Okay.
And obviously, just like with any insurance policy, there's a number of conditions on there and coverages and exclusions. So, you know, it's hard to make a broad brush comment, yes or no on that without a specific, which we can look at anytime, so.
And I appreciate the
Yes.
answer to the question.
Sure, one item that's happened is another school district on the west side of the state. They had a hacker that developed a email address that said at so-and-so school, superintendent at so-and-so school district.com. And they sent out like 12 or 1,400 W-2 forms to this email, and that's all the personal information from all the 1,200. So there's notifications that got to be made. You got to make sure that there's no damages from their credit or anything financial that way too. So there's a lot of things that those are some examples of what could happen.
Yeah, and I really do think it's wise to have this insurance. I really do, just in today's time.
Any other questions? Any more discussion?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Abstain. Next item will be board reports. Ms. Summers.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is a board report on the executive summary, essentially, from Into Learning. So Dr. Ken Helvey with Into Learning, he was hired in October 2015 to facilitate the high school configuration study. And that included evaluating all the needed data, gathering stakeholder input, and basically start to foster a discussion about the future of Broken Arrow High School. As you know, the steering committee worked with Dr. Helvey for about 18 months. They researched, they evaluated different configurations. The goal essentially was to provide a final recommendation to the board, but in, I guess it was late March, they came out with the preliminary recommendation to the board. And then the other item that was to come out of that entire process was the report, or that final summary. And so recently you all were provided with that 200-page document. I'm sure you've read it twice. But what we're going to do is it's important to note, and we want to be clear that this discussion is not about approving or disapproving the findings or a quote-unquote recommendation. It really truly is just an executive summary of the work that's been done by Into Learning and Dr. Helvey over the course of the past 18 months. Of course, we wanted to make it available to you all. It will be made available to the public as well on our website. And I'm happy to answer any questions. That does fulfill also his obligation to the district.
Well, I do appreciate the leadership team, certainly our community, the parents, anyone who was involved in the process and who was involved at the forums, who asked questions, and certainly really appreciate the fact that we were listening. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that listening, we have a visioning process that's ongoing right now. And I do believe that in the end, by having additional time allocated for that visioning process, it's going to take us where we need to be as it relates to any recommendation that might come forward to the board. And I appreciate that very much.
Good. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item will be the consent. Next item will be the consent agenda items 14 through 71, excluding item 68.
Move approval.
Second. Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson,
Yes.
Mr. Majors,
Yes.
Mr. Denton,
Yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Allen.
Yes. Next item, item 72, is going to be the approval of the 2018 board meeting dates as listed that was provided for you.
Okay,
72.
yes, 72, but
It doesn't have anyone to speak to that item.
okay.
So that's
Oh.
why I addressed it.
Move approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Okay. Next item will be motion to approve the subcommittees that were provided for you as well. What we will do is it will be a rotation, and it's listed on the sheet provided for you. So each year that you serve on the board, you'll move to a different subcommittee each year. So we have the 5-year rotation. We left the dates and times off because we know that our schedules are all different, so we can work those items out. But at least we have the subcommittees for each one of us, and then we'll approve those if approved, and then we'll move forward on getting the dates and times together that works for everyone's schedule.
Mr. Allen, I appreciate that very much, because if we had approved them and then we needed to make adjustments, then we'd have to bring it back. So that was one of the reasons why we struck that. So I appreciate that very much. Move
Any-
approval.
Oh, go ahead.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, 74, Ms. Tiger.
Good evening. I will be presenting the new salary schedules for 2017-18. I would like to note that the teacher salary schedule is not being presented tonight. It will be presented after negotiations. You will see that in the August board meeting. Number 74 is the 2017-18 salary schedule for administrative staff. It has been increased by 1.5%. This is for next year. This is including an additional principal opening our Timber Ridge site. An assistant principal has been added for growth to our Sequoia site. With the step and these 2 additional administrative positions, we are still projected to spend $137,016 less than the 16-17 school year in administrative costs, due to the cuts that we have made in administrative positions this year. Our team is very proud of that fact. So we would ask that that salary schedule be approved for next year.
Ms. Tiger, I do have a question. I mean, that's great news about the cuts and the money we can save. But are those affecting any services or anything because of those cuts in those administrative positions?
Go ahead.
No, I mean, obviously, anytime you have cuts, people have to do more with less, but what we were able to do is really sit down as a team and reorganize based on the flow of services. We made things make more sense. You know, anytime you grow really quickly, sometimes you'll just add positions, and it gave us an opportunity really to kind of sit back and go, okay, clear the board, and then let's start over and rebuild our administrative team in a way that makes more sense as far as the workflow. And anytime you do that, usually you become a little bit more efficient. And that's what we were able to do. And we were, like Ms. Tiger said, we're very, very proud, and I'm very proud of the leadership team, because everyone stepped up at some point and said, no, we can do more. And it allowed us to add really needed positions at the site level, because quite honestly, we can work harder here, but to provide more support to the teachers and students takes priority every time. So.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Move approval.
Second?
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, 75, Ms. Tiger.
Number 75 is the 2017-18 non-administrative salary schedule. This salary schedule has been completely reformatted. The format before this did not have an index that showed what position titles fell in what index. So the human resource team has taken time to reformat this to mirror the support scale, so that it can very easily be identified what position falls within what index for more of a transparent first glance look. There became some confusion on job titles and indexes, and I know that during the school year it makes it a lot easier for applicants to know before they interview salary ranges and things of that nature. So you will see a different format with an attached index on this salary schedule. With an increase on this, it will, for next year, an index on this is $44,567 for a 1.5% increase.
Ms. Tiger, I do want to say thank you, because I know from an employee standpoint, or even from an applicant standpoint, or from a community standpoint, this is good information for people to have, and it does create a climate wherein people feel more a part of, because they can research this themselves. It's no big secret. So thank you. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Item 76, Ms. Tiger.
Number 76 is the 2017-18 support staff schedule. We are asking that this schedule be approved with a step increase for all of the support staff within our school district. That increase of offering one step for all employees is $250,978.
That's good news. Any discussion, questions?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second, please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Tiger.
Ms. Tiger, I want to thank you and your staff. I know personally that you all spent so many hours redoing these schedules to make it make sense to every employee and to create an equitable format where everyone knew exactly where they would fall on a scale. And for that, we truly appreciate your hard work.
Thank you.
Next item, 77, Mr. Blackburn. Operations.
Good evening. Tonight I bring to you for your approval or disapproval the processing of commodities to several companies. Tyson's for $179,709,000. JTM $15,056. Advanced Pure Beef $48,476. Pork $9,744. Chicken $20,280. And integrated beef, $71,567. Asian Food Solutions chicken, $181,421, totaling $526,253 for processing fees.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, 78, technology, Mr. Stout.
Thank you, Dr. Dunlop, members of the board, President Allen. Item number 78 is the request for approval for the smart boards for Timber Ridge. And this is paid for through bond funds, and we're consulting with Purano on that. This is also the new interactive televisions for Timber Ridge, and it's also going to bring us up to speed on the latest software for all the other smart boards across the district. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be 68 from the consent agenda item. Ms. Enid.
Again, just wanted to bring a point of clarification to this item in regards to fundraiser guidelines. Wanted to clarify that the professional development line item added for an approved fundraiser purpose was for staff professional development. We want to be very clear and transparent with our parents for exactly what their children are fundraising for. And after consulting with our auditors, they felt the best way to communicate this were through the guidelines and purpose of our fundraisers. And with the state of the budget, we are looking at professional development in general fund with a very critical eye. So, of course, we want to continue to support our teachers' growth and learning, and so we have decided to try and shift that into some of the activity funds where appropriate and where necessary. So we want to make sure this is very clearly communicated with our parents.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Enoff.
This will be a manual vote. I will take this manually.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, 79, Ms. Enoff, under Business Services.
This is just where we ended at the end of May, but really what I'd like to just talk to the board about briefly is just kind of where the legislative session ended and what we're kind of bracing for, expecting next year. Obviously, you can see the decreases in state aid revenue. Ad valorem is up. Building fund, again, ad valorem is our main source of funding in this fund. Child nutrition is doing well as always. And you can see some of the expenses as we've shifted between building and general fund, trying to balance budgets. But really, when the legislative session ended at the end of May, common education came out actually a little better than what was expected. At one point, Superintendent Hoffmeister expected common ed to be down $100 million, and when all is said and done, that total only ended up to be $54 million.
If you say that real fast, I guess you'd be happy about it.
It's scary.
It's sad when you're happy you only got cut $54 million versus the 100, but.
So I will just leave it at that. June's loss was $4 million, and so we actually got a little bit of increased revenue, I'll say, in June from some of those months that we had seen dramatic cuts in our state aid payment. So we got a nice little boost at the end of June from making up for some of that loss, and we are grateful for that, certainly. Going into 17-18, there are still a lot of uncertainty and unanswered questions. What I've been telling the leadership team is our temperature gauge will really be in December when they take that first measure in tax collections. So like I said, we were very grateful that we weren't cut as severely as what we had thought in 16-17. And we will stay tuned for what happens in 17-18. The State Department seems to think that we'll be funded to start off with in July at what we were supposed to get in midterm, but that is just a projection, and everything depends on what happens in December and January. Be happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Enoff. Next item, item number 80.
Okay, so my last item is to ask the board to formally take action on the budget cuts reductions going into 17-18. We've taken a very long and intentional thought process through this, and I believe this will put us in a good position to start out 17-18 with opening a new building, giving a cost of a step to all of our employees, and then hopefully if things start to head south in January next year, we'll be ahead of the game a little bit.
Again, I just have to say, Dr. Dunlop, I really appreciate all of the work that you and the leadership team have done to come up with these cuts. Nothing is enjoyable when you have to do something like this, but it's very obvious that we've done everything that we can to keep the cuts away from the classroom, and certainly those cuts away from increasing the class sizes to the degree that, again, our staff favor keeping those class sizes down. So we've, I believe, done as good a job as we can do as we move forward, and hopefully won't be impacted significantly this year. So we'll see what happens. But again, thank you very much for all the hard work.
You're welcome, Ms. Kelly, and I have to compliment Natalie and the leadership team, and also our site principals. Everyone was very frugal this year, and our department managers we were very cognizant of every single penny we spent. And in hindsight, you know, I'm going to be honest, we were concerned about not coming out really quickly like a lot of people did and said, okay, here's where we're cutting. It was very nerve-wracking, but we knew that if we were just patient and we watched to see what happened at the end, that would give us more clarity, and then we wouldn't be waffling back and forth about where we were cutting and where we're not. So as we know, the legislative session ran really long, and it took us a while to get a budget out, but we can say that we are confident in the budget that we have now. We're confident in the cuts we're making, and we were very, very pleased that we were able to keep them away from the classroom.
Well, and two, we were proactive to the extent that when you look at the fund balance close, it's higher than it was last year. Now, we know we're opening a new school, but still it shows that we were taking proactive steps along the way. So again, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item 81, I'm sorry. Ms. Dolan.
Good evening, members of the board, President Allen and Dr. Dunlop. I'm here to give the treasurer's report as of the end of May. Our cash balance report shows a total of $71,333,000 in assets for the district. Included in this are investments that total $59,590,000. Our fund security and deposit report shows a total of $45,822,000 pledged to the district in collateral. Our deposits that require collateral total $22,042,000, leaving an available balance of collateral to the district in the amount of $23,780,000.
Any questions or discussion? Thank you. Next item.
In the activity funds, receipts at the end of May for the year total $7,167,000. Disbursements total $6,288,000, with an ending cash balance in the activity funds of $3,209,000.
Questions? Okay. Next item 83.
My next item is startup funds are needed to open Timber Ridge Activity Fund. These funds will come from the Administrative Office Coke sub-account, and the transfer requested is $4,850, and this will happen in July when we open up the new year for the activity funds.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item 84. Ms. Metavalis.
Good evening. My first item tonight are the change orders for a period of time June 1st through June 21st, and these reflect a decrease of $1,170,314.21. Would recommend your approval on those.
Discussion or questions?
Recommend approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item 85.
Next item are encumbrance orders as we wrap down the end of the year here. These are also from June 1st through June 22nd, $201,276.85 in encumbrance orders, for which I'd recommend your approval.
Questions or discussion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, item 86.
I'd just like to call to your attention, the previous encumbrance report was for fiscal year 17. This next item, to be very clear, is these are encumbrance orders totaling $27,737,607.66. These are effective July 1st. And these enable us to open the year and get going, and but very clear, it's as of July 1st.
Okay. Move approval?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank
Thank you.
Next item, 87, new business. We have none. Next item, 88, is executive session, it looks like.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Dr. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Majors?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
I didn't get a vote.
I didn't get a vote.
I didn't either.
Okay, we didn't vote.
Now you
There
do.
we go.
Doesn't mean we don't have to go.
We gotta go.